the coaching center tragedy in the heart of the national capital, Rajinder Nagar. 14-day custody for 5 accused owners, as well as the car owner were presented in the court. The bail pleas are going to be heard tomorrow. I'm being joined by my colleague Priyank at this point. Priyank, so in this case, there seems to be 14-day custody for 5 accused, but really the issue is far from justice and is so much more larger. But please give us the details of this.
Yeah, certainly an important development happened in this case where the Delhi police produced these 5 accused who were arrested today by the Delhi police team in connection with this case. And very shockingly, the car driver was also arrested who was driving a black color Force Golka vehicle, which is a multi-tail vehicle. What Delhi police senior officials have given justification for this arrest is that they have CCTV footage which establishes that instead of knowing that there could have been injuries to other people, he drove very rashly towards the other side, which led to this particular incident, which also resulted into breaking of one of the structure, after which the water entered inside the basement area. But the lawyers have also, contested this thing in the court, where the lawyers of the accused clearly stated that he was driving at a speed of 15. There was no laxity which was done on his behalf. But considering the application of the Delhi police, all these 5 accused have been sent to judicial custody for 14 days. Yesterday also 2 accused were arrested who have now been sent to judicial custody. So on total, 7 arrests in this case. 2 were the management of the institute. 4 were the owners of the different floor of this building, and 1 person who was driving the black color multi-terrain vehicle SUV towards the institute.
Right. Priyank, thank you very much for giving us those details. In fact, my colleague reporting about how there's a custody which has been, at least 5 people have been sent to custody after the Rajinder Nagar catastrophe, nothing short of that. In fact, students are continuing to demand answers. There are protests which are underway in Rajinder Nagar. Even as we are breaking this news, this protest has been going on since yesterday. First, it was the students who are studying there who had started this protest, and eventually you also had the student unions from different political parties join them as well. These are the latest shots on your screen. Massive protests in Rajendra Nagar. Anger, of course, by students, among the students. Remember, since the tragedy that unfolded, and if I may say, the human-made tragedy that unfolded in Rajendra Nagar late on Saturday night, where 3 students who died, or who were killed rather, while studying in the library. And we are being very cautious of the words that we are used, because 3 lives can't be just snuffed out without accountability. That's literally what's happening. Anger on the roads, on the streets in Patel Nagar. And for those from India who are not very aware of what Rajendra Nagar is, I beg your pardon, I think I said Patel Nagar by mistake, but this is Rajendra Nagar. And for those who are not familiar with Rajendra Nagar, there are around 2 to 3 hubs that are the center of all the coachings that really happen, particularly the civil services coachings, where students from across the country, they come, they stay as paying guests, they share their flats, and literally there's batches of 150 to 200 for every batch that's rolled out, and there's coachings that go on for hours and hours in different coaching institutes. It's a hub. It's choco-blocked with coaching centers, and these are the scenes from Rajendra Nagar right now. Of course, you have political protests as well. You have political unions, student unions that have joined these protests, but nonetheless, aspirants, civil service aspirants, as well as political unions or the student unions that have joined them in solidarity, demanding accountability. The unfortunate reality is, even the students have not raised this concern for the first time. We have reports of how there are students, young civil service aspirants who have not joined the administration, who are only trying to crack the UPSC. They have written, whether it be to the center, to the Delhi or the MCD, they have written saying that there is a tragedy in waiting to happen. Months after that letter, you have the tragedy unfold in Rajendra Nagar. Not an obscure place. This should not have happened in any place. But this is happening in the national capital. This is happening in Rajendra Nagar. No accountability, no answers. We've seen 5 accused have been sent to the jail. But how much of that really is possible? How much of that is enough? Remember, there are 13 institutions in Rajendra Nagar that have been now sealed. Why were they functioning till now? Why were they functioning till now? Why were their licenses not scrapped before? Nonetheless, a protest going on in Rajendra Nagar. We'll try and get you reporters also as soon as we can. Anger, of course, very, very visible on the streets in the national capital. Remember, this is not a Delhi problem. And this is not something that can evade an answer either.